And I do believe Shasta now joining us. Welcome, Shasta.
Hello. Hi, everybody. We're gonna play some Kirby and Forgotten Land today. That's like the new Kirby game that just came out. It's pretty cool. Also with me as well, I have someone on commentary. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, what's going on, everybody? My name is Dangers. How you doing, Shasta?
Doing pretty well. I'm hanging in there.
You're about to be gaming.
That's true. Of all the things I'm doing, I think that's one of them. So yeah, I guess let's like actually do that. It's no more stalling. How about that? Let's go fast. Okay. Cool.
I'm
Delete
ready.
this file. Everything explodes as it goes. That's like been a thing for the last few Kirby games. It's kind of funny, honestly. But yeah, so we're gonna start off this run on not Wild Mode, but on Spring Muse mode because it saves like a minute throughout the entire run. If you play on Wild Mode, you get like plus 50 coins in each level, and that loses time over time.
Yeah,
So yeah,
we'll point out like why that is a thing when we get into the levels and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna be playing on Spring Breeze.
yeah. So for now, let's start it up. So 3, 2, 1, kablam. So yeah, this is Kirby and Forgotten Land. The game just came out like 2 months ago. So essentially, the plot of the game is that Kirby gets sucked into another dimension, and now has to find his way back. This dimension is like all post-apocalyptic-y. You'll see very soon. It's very concerning, but yeah. For now, we're
So
just gonna slide hop everywhere. We just do a slide by pressing A, like A and also shield. Chat. I personally use R for that. We can use like literally any of the L and R buttons.
any of the triggers will work, and you'll get Kirby to duck down. Yeah. First thing that Shasta did at the very beginning of the run too, went into the pause menu and changed the gameplay modes. Now, you basically turned off auto swallow mode. You want to talk about why that is?
Mostly because like if you swallow any enemy, it'll make it so you automatically just swallow them, and you don't want to do that all the time. It's good
Yeah.
to like spit them out sometimes instead of just like swallowing them. That's the main thing, really.
Yeah, so Kirby 101, for anybody who's never seen a Kirby game before, the idea with Kirby is that you can suck up enemies, and some of the enemies have special abilities that you can steal for yourself. Of course, if you've ever played Super Smash Bros., that's pretty apparent to you as well. Just
Oh
that
yeah.
idea that Kirby steals the ability of things that he swallows. There's a bunch of normal enemies, like the one that Shasta's passing right now, that won't give you anything, and you'll never auto-swallow those. But in the case of an enemy that actually does give you a copy ability, if you don't turn that mode off, you will immediately get that power up. And we don't necessarily want that all the time because we want to have the freedom to spit out things in certain situations. And you'll see why that is later on down the line. But right now, you're a car.
Yep. So new to this game is mouthful mode, which essentially means that you can select up certain objects and you'll turn into them. Really just gain the powers of them. Like in this case, we got a car, and now we're just driving everywhere. It's really good. It's not the first time we do this in the entire run, or this is the first time we're doing it, but it's not the only time we'll do it. All you do is just crash into that bridge there, and then we get a nice little song playing, but we skip that because we gotta go fast.
Yeah,
Now we're
most
gonna
of
move
the
on to
cutscenes,
this town right here, which is
most
kind of yeah.
kind of desolate, kind of broken down. Most of the cutscenes, like this one here too, are skippable in the game, so we're going to be doing that as much as possible. As cute as they all are, we got to skip them. We got to go fast.
Unfortunately, but be like that sometimes. For now, we're gonna go to these big old doggos and just kind of suck them in and spit them out, and then bam, there we go. That's how we do it. Feed. And just like that, we save our little friend right here, who we've just met for the first time. This is Elflin. They're very important to the plot, extremely important. You kind of just see them like throughout the run though for now, just doing their own thing, like right near us. We also got our friend Banana D over here, who is our co-op character, funnily enough, but we don't actually use them in the run. They're just kind of here for now though.
Can I hop in for just 1 second?
Go for it.
We just hit 13,000.
Let's go!
JD Puppy donates $100, says we need maximum Poyo. Here's a pitch in to get this incentive met. Also, 13K hype.
13K hype. Let's go, dude.
Go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So for now, we're just going to the first level. In this game, unlike other Kirby speedruns, actually, there's actually no mixing at the start because the powers that you get in the game go into like what we get out of the mixed wheels. Therefore, we can't actually get the fast power and then go. We actually have to start off powerless until we get like a fast power to use, which will be in the next level. So
That's
for now,
right.
it's gonna be slide hopping everywhere because it's a fast forward movement currently.
Yeah, other Kirby speedruns, typically the very first thing you do is try and find two enemies that have copy abilities, mix them together so that you can get the thing that you want. But yeah, like Shasta said, this game kind of restricts you in a way. You're not allowed to have a mix ability until you've encountered it somewhere in the run already. So because we haven't actually encountered any copy abilities at all, the mix would be useless to us, even if we could set one up. So you're just going to see this slide kick into a jump. That's the fastest way to get around if you don't have a copy ability. The two copy abilities that have probably the best movement options for you will appear later in the run. There's Fire, which has kind of a fire dash, and Tornado, which just allows you to kind of burst through the stage in a big straight sweeping line.
They're both really good, but like they have both their own uses. You'll see them both throughout the run and use it a good amount, honestly. For now, though, we're gonna get double starter for Wild Edge, and then bam and bam, he's dead. Simple as
like
that.
Yeah, so I mean, even though we're not using any abilities at this current moment, no copy Kirby is actually insanely powerful, and being able to utilize the spitting out mechanic to take down bosses and stuff is one of the fastest ways to deal with a lot of the bosses, and you're actually going to see that quite a bit in this run.
Yeah, in this game, for whatever reason, they buffed like all the like star damage whenever you like spit out a star. So like you used to do a lot of damage to bosses powerless.
That's right.
Come up here is actually one of the first glitches of the run, funnily enough.
Yeah, one of the earliest ones found, too, because it was a part of the demo. So up here, he's going to encounter what's called a tortilding, which is basically just a building-shaped turtle. This is a frame-perfect trick, by the way.
First time I failed that last few days, actually.
Yeah, very tricky. This game runs at 30 frames per second, but that's still a frame-perfect trick, so...
I think second try, hell yeah.
Second try. So the idea here is that there is one frame of leeway where after you get hit, you can jump while you're in midair. So Shasta's going to utilize that to be able to get just a little bit of extra height and use that cone dash to land on top of the tortilding and skip having to go all the way around, saving a lot of time.
It's very good. It was one of the first tricks found in the run back in the demo speedrun, and it's really cool. There's multiple ways to do it, but that's the fastest way. If you get a first try, it saves like 2 or 3 seconds over like the next fastest version of it, so I go for that personally because my time is pretty good in this game. Might as well save time wherever I can, And also, it's the only thing I learned. I didn't learn the other ways, so we're doing it this way.
Now, I'm going to take a second, if you don't mind, to just kind of explain the structure of this speedrun, because it's a little bit, every game has their own way of getting to the credits, right? So this game, unlike other Kirby games, which are kind of like, progression-based, and you kind of just play through the levels until you get to the end, this one allows you a little bit of leeway in like your progression. So basically the idea is that we need to save Waddle Dees, and there's a minimum number of Waddle Dees per world that we need to hit in order to unlock the boss fight of that world. In this world, it's 17. In World 2, it's 19 Waddle Dees. So you're going to be seeing Shasta mostly just skipping through the level, going on in a straight line towards the end, but he's going to be taking a couple of detours, very quick detours, to just get a couple of hidden Waddle Dees along the way, and every single level clear is also going to give you 3 just for finishing the level. So we're always keeping that in mind. The routing for any percent, of course, is varied based on that specific trait of the run, I suppose.
And also, ideally, you want to get Waddle Dees that are not in cages most of the time. I must have missed a room. That's okay.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
so there are two different kinds of like secret Waddle Dees, right?
Yeah, so there's ones that are just like hidden objectives throughout the run, and that's the ones you usually want to get because it doesn't have a pop-up when that happens. Oh no.
That's right, yeah. Because the ones that are in cages, they kind of like plays an animation. You do a little dance with the guy, and it's really cute and everything, but it takes about 4 seconds to do that. So you're going to be seeing a lot of the hidden Waddle Dees that Shasta goes for are ones that kind of have objectives that you just do along the way. So actually one of them coming up in this room right here, after you navigate past some of these girders and stuff, he's going to knock down a poster off of the wall, and that poster is going to kind of trigger an unlock for a Waddle Dee. Don't have to wait for the cage cutscene animation, anything like that. Just keeps on going. Basically a free Waddle Dee.
You got Spring Breeze right there.
Yeah, so only subtle differences between Spring Breeze and Wild Mode, but one of the most infuriating ones for speedrunners is the fact that because Spring Breeze is supposed to be the easy mode, nice, there you go, cleared the gap, and got
Very
the
good.
poster, so you get that secret Waddle Dee. Spring Breeze mode is supposed to be kind of like the easier hand-holdy version. So that slide kick that you're seeing Shasta doing for movement in some places, it will home in intentionally on enemies, even if you're going like it has a pretty wide angle radius, and it'll purposefully slide into enemies because it's trying to get you to do damage to them, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes I literally like slide like 90 degrees to the right for no reason because there's just an enemy there, and it's just a little bit out of the way. Or even the box. It's not even enemies sometimes. That just happens. It's very
Yup.
strange.
It's true.
It's happened a lot to me though. You gotta be very careful with slides in this run because of that. Less so if you're doing wild mode, but wild mode's slow, so yeah, it'd be like that.
Unfortunately, yeah. And the wild mode, I think we already mentioned it at the beginning of the run, but it bears repeating. Whenever you clear a stage, you dance with the Waddle Dees at the end, and it kind of tallies up your score, tallies up all the hidden Waddle Dees that you found. One of the extra things that wild mode will do is kind of congratulate you for having completed it on wild mode, which means that you get 50 coins, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And that happens every single level, and it takes about a second for that to happen. So you're just kind of bleeding time. So unfortunately, wild mode is not the way to go.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Ooh, nice.
Just up just a little bit there.
Those boulders have gigantic hitboxes, so I was actually kind of surprised you didn't get hit by that.
Yeah, that's the nearest movement strat I'm going for right there. It saves just a little bit of time, but it's a little risky if you mess it up, unfortunately.
Yeah, you got to be on your cycle.
This level is pretty much all just one giant room that rotates around, so you gotta be like, gotta make sure you do everything correctly here, especially because of the boulder cycles. And you got this big Indiana Jones-like boulder coming right at us right here at the ends, but don't gotta worry about that, thankfully, because we are very fast.
As you can see,
very fast.
Shasta's picked up fire in the last level, and so just absolutely blazing through all the levels. And here's Kirby again. Now, one of the hidden Waddle Dees in this level, very interesting, is not falling off of the cliff while you're in car mode. So, I mean, it seems kind of risky, but, you know, I think Shasta's done this about 100 times at this point, so probably
She fell for the first time ever yesterday.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, like
Oh,
actually, it was very strange. For an exclusive mistake. You only get that on my streams, on my stream, the Twitch is Mr. and Shasta.
That's right, didn't happen this time. So.
I feel like that sometimes. Sometimes you just do everything correctly, like for a long time. Then you mess up one thing, and then you never mess up once, and it happens. Can't do everything perfectly all the time. It's just part of the journey, you know?
Speaking of messing things up, I think that the general challenge of this run is that if you make mistakes, they cost you a lot of time. Because the way that this game is structured, if you want to save a Waddle Dee, you need to do it in all one go. Like if you miss a Waddle Dee, you have to play the entire level again, find that one Waddle Dee, and then also reach the end. So if there is ever a situation where you miss one and you don't have a very viable backup, you're kind of hooped. Like there's not a whole lot you can do to really save that time, and it can just be run over for you at that point.
Thankfully, I'm pretty practiced in this game, so that shouldn't happen, but there are a few spots where it could be a little hairy, I guess. Mostly in, like, the last world. There's a lot of backup abilities, but, like, some of them are just... It's a little unfortunate if, like, anything bad happens there.
Absolutely.
But I also get a free hidden Waddle Dee right there from getting the Invisibility Candy, and now we go fast. And also a great song to it.
So an Invincibility Candy basically gives you the benefit of all of the stat-up drinks, I think. So that includes the speed one, which means you get to zoom through the stage. And this is actually going to come in real handy. Anybody who's played this level knows that about halfway through, you have to face off against Wild Frosty, which is this giant polar bear enemy. So we've got the Invincibility Candy, and we're rushing through this stage. We're trying as fast as we can, the fire dashes into the slide kicks, to get to the Wild Frosty fight, and then just immediately run up into his face, and the fight is over just like that because of the Invincibility Candy. Very nice.
Bam. It's very good right there, honestly. And I'm going to try to do some precise stashes here so I get right up against this little railing, and then I'm able to get just enough height to get over there. Across the way, instead of going all the way around that room as well, too.
Yeah, and avoiding doing the slide kicks anywhere near the enemies in case you accidentally kick one in the face.
So shout out to Live Amal and the music here. It's one of my favorite songs in the game. It's just it's such an earworm. It really is.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there.
We hear the full loop of it right here before the end of the level. It's very nice. Now I'm going to try and keep centered in this next stream here, because if I go to the sides, I get hit by these enemies. Because they're just going up the escalator. Just having a good old time, you know? If you see use like enemies on like those like dog-like enemies there, they call them woofies. They're the things that steal the wall of these throughout the run, throughout the entire game in canon. But they're so freaking adorable.
Yeah,
I
can
can't
you
be
even
mad at
blame
them.
them for their crimes? I don't think so.
I can't. I really can't, honestly. They're supposed to be like the wall of these in this world, essentially. That's kind of the idea of them.
Yeah,
They have like the same kind of eyes. They have mouths just like them as well too. They're similar looking color scheme. They're very good.
yeah, the common enemy of this game, very adorable. And that was Arrival Mall, which was 1-4. So we're moving into 1-5, and the 5th level of every world, except for World 6, is the boss fight world. So here you can see the game is telling us we need 17. We got 17 just fine. Opens up the door, and we're going to be facing off against our first world boss.
I like how they just beat the crap out of the door until it opens.
They just flail their arms at the door. It's so good. If you want excuse me, a quick donation, by the way, right now, I say go for it literally right now.
We do. We have a $50 donation from Diggy that says, let's get to that goal and get that bonus game. Thanks everyone for putting on a stellar event for the community. And also a $10 donation from We Three Monks, who says, always great to see more shadow runs.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the donations. Keep them coming, everybody. Still the incentive for this run afterwards, too.
Yeah, speaking of, how are we doing on that incentive?
We are at 416 out of the 500.
$84 away. We can do that. We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
But for now, though, we have this little boss right here, which weirdly enough, you can skip this cutscene in the demo of the game. You can't skip it here. It's very weird. I don't know why it's like that. But this is Goromondo. So you notice I grabbed ice a second ago. Reason for that is because we can actually freeze this boss using kind of exclusive effect of this game. First time you can do any sort of freezing like this in any Kirby game. But if we essentially hold shield and tap B rhythmically, we can just kind of switch between both of them and do a lot of damage that way, just back and forth, and then this also frees them faster too. Which the unfreeze effect does a lot of damage, so it's very, very good. Unfortunately, this boss fight does lag a bit, so if I mess with the rhythm here of me tapping B, I will go into a little like ice shield animation, which I didn't get right there, so we're actually gonna defeat him right here. But that's a very consistent strat for that boss fights. The old strat was used a lot is still overall faster, but it's way less consistent. You'd use like you do like that whole first part of the fight powerless and get a bunch of stars there, but it relies a lot on luck and him swinging his arms the correct way. So it's like not as good, but it's still really fast if you get the right luck. But the ice strat there, very, very good. Perfect fight.
Yeah. Sword was the ability that we kind of used. That was like the ultimate fast strat. And you're right, you would like drop sword, you would like juggle holding on to sword while also swallowing a bunch of stars that happen as a result of the boss attacking you. And again, no copy Kirby is kind of overpowered, kind of busted, does a lot of damage if you spit those stars out at him, but you got to keep your sword so that you can do some like serious damage in the second phase. Pretty tricky fight. The ice just kind of trivializes all of that. Also, something to mention, we're not going to be trying to go for any of the secret Waddle Dees in any of the boss fights because they go by world. So even though we collected 17 to unlock Goromondo, it basically restarts for World 2, and we're going to be building up to a new total to get to the second boss. So it doesn't matter if we get any of them in the boss fights. That being said, though, there is one reason to be paying attention to the amount of Waddle Dees that you get in the boss fights. Maybe you can explain why that is, Shasta.
Yeah, so when we get to World 6, we actually get enough LDs, if we do everything correctly, to unlock the shop, which would give us upgrades for our attack and speed primarily. Also the life bar if we want it, but we don't need that one. So if we have like I'm actually going to spend like, I'm going to have 4 of them later on the run, but if we have about 145 LDs by the time we get to at the end of 6-3, then I'll be doing that and going faster throughout the rest of the game. But we have to actually get a few of the extra boss LDs along the way, or at least make sure that we do, in order to actually be able to do that. Yeah, which I do a few extra objectives here and there to make sure I get that.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to be on top of that and make sure that you do the boss fights well enough that you're not going to be running into problems. But when we first started using power-ups, I definitely had a couple runs that I just wasn't paying attention, and the whole run is basically thrown away if you don't have enough. So
yeah, same here. And then right now we're actually forced to get an upgrade here. This game kind of drives us to the WALD shop, or I guess the blacksmith WALD shop. I want to say the weapon shop. That's what it's called. Yeah. So we either can upgrade to Chakram Cutter or to Volcano Fire. And if you've seen the run so far, you know I want Volcano Fire. It's just
Yeah.
a better version of like one of the fastest powers in the game, so I might as well do that.
Fire is such a versatile movement tool, it just makes sense to buff up its combat abilities a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm. And also, color is pretty low tier in this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, such a shame.
It's a shame. Like color is my favorite power as a kid when playing Nightmare and Dreamland, so it's a bit of a shame that it's like that in this game now. But it is what it is. Now they're back around in 2-1. I'm actually gonna do a skip in the very next screen here. We're gonna go over Bonkers. His first like time you find him in the run. You want to explain that real quick?
So there's a mini boss coming up. He's got a platform that you have to stand on as soon as you stand on the boss fight starts. So instead of standing on that boss fight platform, Shasta's going to set himself up on this tree, going to hop up to the top of the tree, take a jump, and start floating towards the screen. When he gets to the screen, you're going to see that the screen kind of nudges backwards a little bit and lets him actually access the river underneath the boss platform, and therefore skipping the entire fight. Saves about 30 seconds to do this.
It's very, very good. And then over here, I'm actually going to do this. I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh no, I bonked. That might be bad. So I got rid of that animal sand sculpture off screen, and unfortunately, because I bonked there, actually, I'm getting a long load here, which I didn't, which I want to avoid. So if you have a little text on screen, like when you go into a load zone, you actually get a longer load, unfortunately. But you can avoid even longer loads if you just go through that screen. You go through the doorway just really fast. In that case, I could have done it there. I was a little slow. It happens. It's a bit it's a bit tricky, but yeah.
All things considered, the sand sculpture is not that long of a Waddle Dee to collect it either way, so.
Yeah, it's pretty speedy. It's the only one collecting this level, at least.
Yeah, it's
And then we're good.
Levels like this are just so funny to me because the game developers put this giant stage for you to like explore and go find things and like figure out all the nooks and crannies, and we kind of just like, oh well, I think I see the end right there, so I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want the one thing and nothing else. That's all we need.
That's right.
We don't need to go into the extra room there. We don't need don't need to fight that mini boss. You know, like I don't need that. I just like sand. Okay, it's good.
Looking
The
at the
amount
Waddle
of-
Dees and you're saying, you know, some of you I will not save, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
That's right.
Pretty much. That's like the story of this run, honestly.
Yeah, and it starts out with less Waddle Dees necessary, so a lot of the earlier levels are kind of just, especially like this one is a great example. Look at all the puzzles, all the platforms moving around. There's like green shards to collect and stuff like that, and Shasta's like, I'm just gonna stay in the water and just keep fire dashing to the end because it's just faster to do that. But it does scale, so as we get closer to the end, we're going to need more Waddle Dees to unlock those boss fights, which means that we will be doing a little bit more going out of the way and actually accomplishing some of the missions along the way.
It's like in this level, for instance, the only thing we're getting here is a quote-unquote greeting the seabirds, which, as you can see, we definitely greet them right there with a little
Roasting them
fireball
with
to the
fire.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you do. That's how you greet them normally, right? It's just how it goes.
I'm a bird expert, I can tell you. Yeah, roasting birds is just the best way to say hello.
True. Confirmed. This room has a very tight cycle, which I just got. Let's go.
Woo-hoo!
Nice.
Very nice.
Hopefully I get this too. Nice. Right through there. I'm just gonna
Oh,
wait
the
right here.
shield. I like
There
that.
we go. That worked out really well in the end. That last set of cans especially is really hard to get around without getting hurt. So like that was really good. Nice.
We have 2 more donations
Go for it.
from Tater Shovel. I love that name.
That's a good name.
$10 says, let's see Pronzo run the impossible game, and also an absolutely massive $475 from
Whoa.
Kelvin Ferret
Whoa.
Yo,
saying,
thank you.
what a marathon, but we can't finish the weekend without unlocking the last bonus game. Let's get Zelda 2 to finish off the marathon. Agreed. And
Agreed.
with that, we are very, very close, actually, to getting that bonus game. We are now 2,080 out of the 2,500 required for the bonus game.
Let's get it. Thanks
Do
for all the
it.
donations, everybody.
Ooh. Tight cycles here in this first level, on this first room of 2-3. But if you do your thing correctly, the way I know how to do it, then I can just get through there no problem without having to stop just a little bit. But it works out. And then now here's Florina. So in a more recent route of this game, people have started to do ice for Florina, and then take Tornado from this boss fight, and then use that for all the way into like through World 3. But I'm not doing that currently because it's a little hard, and I still gotta practice it. But
Yeah.
it's pretty good. You actually
Or-
do get Waddle Dee as well too from Friesen Florina, but that's like the main thing around that. It's like a main reason why it ends up being like a little bit faster than using Fire through here, but it's still good.
Yeah, Tornado Gang is kind of winning out in terms of optimization and the ability to go fast in this game. But because this game was so new, there was obviously a lot of people just kind of playing the way that was most comfortable. And so there's kind of been this two schools of thought. There's Fire, Fire being that you get short bursts of speed, and there you get to kind of cut the corners a little bit tighter. It's a little bit more technically precise and maybe a little bit harder to use to go fast. Versus Tornado, which we're not going to see in this run until I think you start using it in World 4, right?
She's in World 3.
World 3?
I get it in 3-4 in this run.
Right, okay, yeah, you do get it in 3-4 like I did. So, yeah, you're going to see it later in the run, and you're going to see the kind of benefits that it has to movement. Tornado is absolutely the fastest thing that you can use to move in this game, but its limitations come from it being kind of like an open way of moving. Like if you have to narrow tight corridors or you have to do lots of turning, then Tornado tends to kind of lose its benefits. It's also not as good at combat. So those two things combined mean that you kind of have to balance. Like as a runner, you get to choose: do I want Fire because it's better at fighting things, or do I want Tornado because it just allows me to go through things faster? There's kind of give and take in both schools of thought there.
Yeah, in the case of Tornado as well too, because like it goes until you stop, ideally at least, then like you gotta like kind of like route out the movement ahead of time in order to know where you're doing with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's really the main thing. Also, this part is just an auto scroller. You'll see it a few times. Use the arch mouse sections.
Another very cute, very silly use for the mouthful modes.
It's very good. For now, we're getting this last post over here. Get another Wall D, just like that. Bam. And then we're good. It's actually a really solid level. Might be a rainbow in my splits. We'll see. It looks like
It looks
really
good.
Yes, it was. Let's go.
Nicely done.
Going fast. This next level, though, actually introduces like the water mechanics of the game. In the first room, there's this flowing water that's going forward really fast. With Fire in particular, I can actually speed that process up by doing what's called a grounded fireball, or press A and B at the same time. If I do that correctly throughout this entire first room, it saves a few seconds. We're just like letting the water take you normally. It's very good. But
Yeah,
also in the room afterwards, there's actually another arena that is very scary because if you fall in the water there, you actually lose getting a Wall D. I'm pretty good at so it shouldn't happen ideally, but sometimes it'll catch you off guard. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and when we're talking about like not having backups for things, this is 2-4, which is the level right before the boss fight. So there are very limited options when it comes to backing this particular Waddle Dee up. So Shasta's got to focus up for that part. But yeah, the fire ability actually has two different things that you can do with it. There's the throwing, I guess, volcano fire. It would be throwing these kind of magma rocks out of Kirby's mouth, and the other one is the fire dash that you're seeing Shasta use everywhere. And in order to use the fire dash, you need to be in the air. So in order to maximize your speed in the water, Shasta is like basically, pressing A and B at the same time so that you're frame one, essentially, while you're in the air, you're dashing right away.
Nice, that went well.
That was a really good fight.
Yeah, very solid right there. It's really easy to mess that up, especially with like the section where you actually do get rid of fire for a little bit. That was very good. It's one of those Wall Ds that if you don't have a setup for, is not really fast. But if you do have a setup for, it's speedy. It's very good. But it's a tricky one that can easily mess up if you're not like too practicing it. It's one of the ones you gotta grind out, I guess, just to save a little bit of time here and there.
Another wonderful example of a room that has all sorts of puzzles and challenges and collectibles and stuff, and Shasta's just like, nah, how about I don't? I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, I don't need those stairs. Who cares? Not I, that too. Go right over here. I'm actually gonna collect this tin of fish right here, weirdly enough, because it gives me one objective towards a Wall D. It actually saves 2 seconds in the end. At the end of the level, because it doesn't have to game doesn't have to pop up and be like, hey, you missed this objective right here. So if we collect just one of them, we actually do end up getting a part of that, and it's a little faster.
Yeah, there are all sorts of these like little things in the game, like, speedrunning is just all about that. It's like being really nerdy and passionate about the games that you love to the point where you just know all of these intricate little details. You can see that all of the cages in that clear screen had text, and that's exactly what Shasta was talking about. If he didn't collect that tin of fish, then he would have had to wait 2 seconds for like it to reveal it to you, because that's how this game works. If you miss a Waddle Dee, the game will be like, give you a hint as to where you can find it the next time you go through the level, but by getting that tin of fish, you skip that dialogue.
I was gonna see the Waddle Dee just flailing arms once again. Very good. Yep, next we actually have the typical tree boss in Kirby games. We got Tropic Woods. That's the name of the next boss here. It's the wispy variants. It's not much different than normal. First find in particular, because of the Waddle Dee requirements that I need at the end of the run for the shop, I'm actually gonna go for a damageless strat here, which me saying it's damageless makes it sound like it's epic. I know it's like not really too flashy, but yeah, that's one thing I'm just gonna point out and just make sure I get it here or anything else. And once again, I'm gonna use fire for this because fire is good for the next few levels. So is tornado, but I haven't learned that yet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it'll still blow your mind, regardless of whatever power up. We're still going fast. It still looks great.
Oh no, I jumped a little early. That's okay.
That's all right.
Thankfully, I got backups. It's all good. A few of these boss fights, like I'm able to actually do powerless, or not powerless, just like damageless on accident, just because I've gotten like pretty good at them at this point.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play this game 100 times or whatever, right? So.
Yeah, so like it works out. It's all good. That's just one I always make sure to go for. I could, for marathon safety, go for destroying one of these roots over here as well, which, you know what, I'm gonna do that just for marathon safety. That's another hidden wall that you can get. There you go. Why not? Might as well.
As it turns out, proving that fire is good against grass types once again.
Mm-hmm. Especially volcano fire, weirdly enough. Shout out to Camerupt. Good Pokemon.
True. Elflin, gonna get a little bit mad at us for leaving the blueprints behind. Blueprints in this game basically allow you to upgrade the power-ups that are in your shop. We had the ability to upgrade Fire or Cutter for free at the beginning, but for the rest of the game and for all of the other power-ups, you need to find these blueprints and then also go to the shop and pay your currency for them. You're not going to see that happen in this run at all because it's just too slow to go out of the way to get the rare stones that are required to upgrade these things, as well as the currency to get them, as well as the blueprints to get them. So any blueprints that you see along the way, we're going to be purposefully dodging them, and to the chagrin of Elflin along the way.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Is we could get Noble Ranger right there from Tropic Woods, but like it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Overall, just loses a lot of time. It's not good. But something that is really cool though is actually its next world. It's my favorite one in the entire game. We're gonna come into Wandaria right now, which is just a theme park in the entire world, which funnily enough has some cool lore to it. So this theme park came to existence because there's actually like a popular book series about these two dogs right here named what's their name again? One Dog and One D. That's what it was. and like their whole thing is they travel all throughout space, and like there's a bunch of popular books that came about from that, and eventually it funded a whole theme park around them. It's really cool. You can read that in the figurines of the game, by the way. Has a lot of lore in it.
I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
There you go. But there's also a lot of tight cycles in Wandaria here, especially in this first level. So we gotta make these. Like for instance, I have to get right past this parade of different floats here, which thankfully I did.
Nicely done. A lot harder than that looks. Yeah, Wandaria, I think part of the reason that I like World 3 so much is because it is so cycle-based. So, like, the speedrunner in me, the perfectionist in me, sees all these cycles and is like, okay, what is the best way to navigate all of this? How do I get through this stage as fast as possible? And just kind of, manipulate all these cycles to go fast. Also, that was a really nice thing. I've never seen going around the right side of that one rotating platform to get through that cycle faster. That was really nice.
Thank you. That's a hard one to optimize with fire, but thankfully I've gotten good enough to the point where it's kind of second nature to me.
Now, here's
especially on the
skip.
last part there. That's one part I always mess up too.
Oh,
sorry,
true,
go ahead.
Yeah. Here's another skip. You don't even notice that it's a skip because of the way that Shasta's playing right now. But this, I guess it's kind of called Mud Skip. The idea is that you're supposed to use another mouthful mode called Water Balloon Kirby to clear off the mud and set up a set of stairs for you to traverse. But we don't have time for that. just using some of the creatively placed poles and other things in the level to just use Fire Dash and float up over top of them. Saves all the time of Water Balloon Kirby. Now, there's nothing that we can really do to avoid this one, unless we were to use Hammer, but we wouldn't really have Hammer in this place at this time, so we got to use Water Balloon Kirby.
Yeah, exactly. Can't really avoid that one, unfortunately. Also, it was just really solid level right there. I
That
just
was
kind of
really well
game
done.
for a second.
Yeah.
Good heckin' stuff.
You're kind of gaming right now.
Just a little bit. Actually pulled back ahead of my PB right there because I messed up World 1 a little bit. So we take those. Yeah, I also love Wandaria the most because every single level is just extremely unique. Like, because it's all a theme park. You're not going to ride the same rides the whole time. I mean, you could, but you got to experience everything. So in this case, we go from that first level, which had all these rotating rides and like all these different like parades and stuff, to just the racetrack of Wandaria here. Circuit Speedway.
Speedway. All right.
And
now,
first
I
thing we
don't
do
know-
is we just take a car right here.
That's right. Back to Kirby. Now, I don't know about you, Shasta, but I like to do this little thing in my personal streams. Every time we ever have a race with a timer, the chat gets to guess how long it's going to take for this race to finish. Good guesses for this one, Shasta. Do you remember? Like 17 seconds, right?
16 to 17 seconds, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, so if you guess it to the 100th of a second, I'll gift a sub in the fastest first channel. So get your guesses in.
Get your guesses, everybody. What is it? Let's see. 16,917. Pretty good.
Nice.
Oh, dude, Pod's got it. What the heck? Let's go.
Pod's got it. Oh, they're already subscribed, though. But there you go. Don't worry. There's another race in this level. We'll do the exact same thing again. But, yeah, GG's Pods. Let's go.
GG's. For now, we're just going to go over here and just skip, like, this entire room, pretty much, by using fire over it. There's also a Wallaby we could get by getting Invisibility Candy a little out of the way and destroying this next boss with it instantly, but overall doing that, it's just a bit slower. So we opt not to do it currently. Got to the Wild Edge fight though. He's just gonna go over here and swing our sword, which means we're gonna jump over him like that, and then put the shield, which means we're gonna just get rid of him, which puts him to a bit of a hit stun. Ideally, this actually skips the second phase of the fight where he takes less damage a bit. I got a little bit of that at the end, but overall very good fight, even still.
Not bad.
A lot of these fights with fire literally just like hold B and like make sure of like different little intricacies like that. Make sure those go well.
All right, what are the good times for this one, Shasta?
I want to say between like 40 seconds and like 37 seconds. So somewhere around there. Usually I get on the lower end of that.
So 37 to 40, get your guesses in.
This one's pretty cool. So the objective here to get a Wall D is actually going through his cardboard shortcuts like that, which are faster and also give us a hidden Wall D, so that's really good. And make
Works
sure to
out
do
really well
those.
for us. That's right.
There's only 2 of them as well too. Like now we're past all of them. We just gotta go to the end. I was gonna make sure not to get in this mud here because it slows us down.
Yeah, by a lot too. It's not friendly.
37-782. Did anyone get that?
37-78. Checking the scores. Checking the scores.
Oh, someone was
somebody
really
said,
close.
Someone said 37-77.
Oh, dude,
Better Better luck
that's
next time.
good.
But good guess. Good guess.
Very nice guesses. Thank you, everybody.
Also, really funny to me that by clearing the gold level like time score on there, you get a Waddle Dee in a cage on top of the podium, and we ignore both of them.
Exactly. Just it's a cage Wall D. It takes a little bit to get to it. So like overall, there's just so many fast Wall Ds in World 3 that those just aren't worth it in the end.
That's right.
That's what it comes down to, really.
Now, this is upcoming level is one of my favorites. I don't know about you.
It's my favorite, straight up.
Just
I love
straight
this
up
level.
your favorite. All right.
Yeah,
The theming of it is my favorite. Yeah.
it's too good. It really is. Invasion of the House of Horrors. Beware, everybody. Beware. You're in for a scare. Whoa. Just like right here. Don't get spooked. Ah!
I just got did a bamboozle.
Oh no.
Too
Heckin'
late,
bamboozle.
and am super spooked.
Oh,
No.
I don't think I will recover.
All right. Well, we'll get the ghosts back by stealing their treats. How about that?
Oh, whoop. A little scary right there, but we're good. So, scary right there, yeah. Anyways, So the big thing of that part is just they're huge. Those huge cardboard cutouts are just like gigantic and have big hitboxes extend out a little bit further past the visual of it. So like you gotta be careful to go around them.
This
Right here, we're
upcoming
supposed
part
to use
is
light bulb,
yes,
and we're
we
gonna
get
skip that.
introduced. We get introduced to light bulb just there, and the idea is that you're supposed to use the light bulb to guide your path and like figure out where you're supposed to go. But we're speedrunners, so we already know where the path is, and there are a couple of invisible walls that we have to go around. The game was at least smart enough to know that you can't just burst right to the end. But also here, you're supposed to use the light bulb to create a set of stairs that you're going to climb up, but you can just do that instead to skip all of that, and that room is just cleared immediately.
I'm also getting these like different food items throughout this level because it allows me to get another hidden wall D if I get all the correct hidden food objects. Apparently,
Yeah, all the ghost snacks.
yeah, the ghost snacks is what they're calling it. There's one more up here as well. They're high in a cheesecake. It's delicious. I don't blame them. I don't want anyone else eating that. Cheesecake is like my favorite dessert. I love it.
Yeah,
Too
how
good.
Can you go wrong? How can you go wrong with cheesecake?
You really can't. And then right here, actually, a little skip because normally we're supposed to use vending machine Kirby to get through those aliens. But if we go up on top of the object, they just like kind of stop, and we just go right past them.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but
Neither
I'm
do I.
glad that it is.
It's fast. It's very good. And then we're gonna get one more wall D inside a cage right at the end of this platform here. It's a little tricky. I usually don't mess it up, but sometimes I do. Gotta time it correctly, like right there. Bam.
Very nice.
There we go. If I go a little early, I actually bonk on the wall and still get the wall D. So it's a little more lenient. You just can't go too early. That's really just the main thing. Oh, speaking of bonking. Still very good though. Very solid level. I love that level though. Just the aesthetic of everything. I just love how I just love the aliens popping up, pretending to be like
Yeah.
a big jump scare sort of thing. It's so good.
And it's so quirky, right? I think that's probably my favorite
Mhm.
thing about it too. Is like not only is the level design really charming, but the fact that we kind of as speedrunners avoid a lot of the game mechanics and kind of do our own thing with it is, it's always a good time.
It's very, very good. And then right here, we've been in the theme park for a while, so the game's actually gonna reflect that real quick in this next level because it's gonna go from bright daytime like this to suddenly go over here and it's nighttime. And now we're gonna go enjoy the parade. The electrical parade, if you want to call it that.
That's right.
Is no doubt it's like based off of like Disneyland just a little bit. You can't like you know it is. But in this first room, we actually have a bit of a hard cycle I have to make. There's actually 2 hard cycles I have to make here, but the first one is the least hard, but still very tricky. You saw right there, I got right past that a train.
Very
This
nice.
next one is actually well, I'm not gonna get it now.
Oh,
I got
that's
spring breeze,
unfortunate.
unfortunately.
You did. You got spring breezed.
Right into the Rabaroo there. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
It'd be
if
like
you're-
that sometimes.
If your movement is on point, then you can actually catch that first train. You can actually beat that first train to the ladder, basically. So you can just go past it and skip it.
It is
Now-
very, very tight though.
Finally introducing Tornado into the run. It's very important. You're not going to have a problem now because you have Tornado, but it's very important that Shasta doesn't touch any of the mud in this section because that's also a hidden Waddle Dee. And again, this is 3-4, so there are no real fast, viable backups left at this point. So if you mess up on any of the Waddle Dees along the way in this level, then you're kind of hooped. So got to be very careful.
There's one could do right at the end of the level, but thankfully I don't want to worry about that because that's the last wall D I get right there. It's just destroying that poster.
That's
just
right.
real quickly.
And just right out of the gate, immediately you can see just how powerful Tornado Kirby is with its movement abilities because, yeah, just big, straight, open lines like this are just fantastic for Tornado Kirby. You can see the movement is just like nothing can really compare in movement to Tornado Kirby.
Yeah, the big thing is that you don't lose height ever whenever you use Tornado Kirby. Like, if you start at a certain height, you'll end at that height too. There are some exceptions to that, but it's like very strange. I don't know why it entirely works just yet, but sometimes you like lose a little bit over time on the surface. It's really weird. I don't know why it happens.
Yeah, the game tries to keep track of you if you're on slopes and stuff. So like if you're on the ground and you start Tornado Kirby on a slope, then you'll like follow the slope down or up or whatever. Sometimes the game kind of gets confused and will do that if you are flying off of the side of an edge or something. Very rare, doesn't happen very often. And Unicorn, knock on wood, hoping that it doesn't happen now.
Question from the chat: can you mouth mode to train? I wish. That'd be really cool. But while the boss is unlocking, if I want to get some donations in real quick, let's do that.
We do not currently have any pending donations. However,
Let's fix that, everybody. Come on.
It is a good opportunity to remind us that we are only $84 off from the $500 bid incentive for the Hell Room Showcase, and we are only $420 off from Bonus Game 3.
Let's get that met, everybody. $84 for some cool Easter eggs in the game. I'm super down for that. Let's do that, everybody. But for now, though, we're actually going to go through his boss fight here powerless while juggling Tornado at the same time, which overall saves us a good amount of time in World 4, just be able to keep Tornado like this. So this boss fight is Clawroline. She's important to the plot, and also she's on a shirt for his marathon, so shout out to that. That's pretty cool. But the main thing here is just going to start like swiping at us. I completely whiffed that second one. Also, I'm going to get Tornado there, because the game likes to prioritize their power there whenever you're trying to suck up a star. I am not doing well in this fight. Oh no.
Some bad luck on your star spits, but yeah, the idea here is that Tornado is very, very bad at combat, but it's very good at moving in World 4. So Shasta is doing a combination of letting himself get attacked,
getting a horrible luck right now.
And yeah, the attacks that you're getting are not the greatest ones. You kind of want Clawroline to do some of the bigger attacks, not this one, because this one's really slow. But
I need that one at least, because it gives me a double star, but it's still not what I want.
Yeah. Now entering phase 2, Clawroline's going to jump up onto the top of the banisters. There's not a whole lot you can do, but this is one of the reasons that we turn auto swallow mode off, actually. These knives that Clawroline are throwing at us right now actually give you the sword ability if you swallow them up. But we don't want sword ability, we want Tornado. We also want to be able to use those swords against Clawroline and spit them back at her, just like that, to finish off the fight really fast.
Like, that first phase is rough, but second phase was pretty much textbook, so we definitely still take those. I also want to make sure to draw my Tornado at the end of the fight right near the exits, so I get it right here. It's a little hard to see exits sometimes. Depends on where the camera goes during the fights, but yeah, there we go. I've been struggling with that fight lately, so I guess gotta practice it a lot more. It's a hard one.
Yeah, lots of RNG kind of plays into the first phase, specifically because you are relying on the boss's attacks to basically dictate how fast you can do it.
Ah, frick, I forgot the blueprints. No, dude. Aw, beans. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to go without it for now. We'll lose like 5 billion seconds later, but it'll be okay.
It's okay.
Fine.
You're gonna be doing some hammer bounces to make up that time in World 4 anyway, so.
True. Very true. In the meantime, though, in between levels, we have actually kind of the longest intermission here currently.
Yeah.
So
this
there's
is the perfect time to get up, stretch your legs, go grab some water. We got to basically introduce some town upgrades. So we got about 2 minutes of this to just kind of vibe. Otter Sparks, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hell yeah.
I just got Snackos.
Delicious.
Yes. My lovely husband just brought them to me, so
Nice.
there you have it.
I love that for you.
Where are you snacking?
Zaxby's.
Oh,
Ooh, okay.
I wish I had Zaxby's. But in Southern California, we have a lot of good places here. We have Cane's like everywhere. It's great. I wish you had Zaxby's though. Zaxby's is very good.
It's pretty legit. Yeah.
I'm Canadian. We have nothing.
Oh,
You have Tim Hortons.
That's true. We do have Tim Hortons.
Fun little lore fact, by the way, about the Coliseum here, and just Meta Knight in general, who's appearing right here for the first time, is that, funnily enough, he actually protects the entire wall of Eton from the Beast Pack, which is like, Goromondo, Clawroline, all that stuff. He likes doing that just because it's a challenge to him. That's really about it. He doesn't really care about the wall use too much. He just likes the challenge. Just very in character for him. With that being said, we're now into World 4, and also Northeast Frost Street, also one of my favorite songs of the game. It's very, very good.
Very good. Now, you said World 3 is your favorite. I think World 4 is my favorite. Might be a little bit biased because when it comes to speedrunning, I think my favorite thing about speedrunning is just busting the game wide open and doing tricks and stuff like that. And World 4 does not skimp out on any of that. You're obviously going to see that as we go along. As we're completing some of the World 4 stuff, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, especially this next room right here. We actually use Tornado to skip a lot of cycles, really.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's a hard room though, in general, if you do correctly.
very cycle-based. Relies on you to be able to get up to this point really fast. Let's see. Nicely done, yeah.
The kind of a newer strat right here is we go over here and get this this ice sculpture, because by doing that we actually get like, oh no, that's bad right there, unfortunate. But by doing that we're able to actually go up and get rid of the text for later once we beat the level.
Yep,
And that'll save a little time.
That's the same logic as getting the tin of fish in that level in World 2 earlier.
Unfortunately, because I get hit right there, we actually have to wait for his last cycle. But if all went correctly, I would be able to skip. I'll be able to save a lot of time at the very end of this room here. But still very good. We still take those for sure. And then this room, we're actually gonna skip using both of the staircase mouth modes here, which is a little unfortunate because like it has a great face to it, but it's what it is. We're just use Tornado to go all the way across here, and then bam. Then little optimizations here, we're able to just jump up to this platform and same door right here. And then in his last part here, we're actually gonna go to the clock tower in the background there. You see it? We're gonna go right there too, because it gives the hidden wall D, and also it's just faster overall than just doing this part normally, weirdly enough. And that's the end level right there.
Yeah,
Got
I
a great
love how
Crystal
much,
soundtrack. I love that level.
I love how much the tornado just trivializes all of the platforming in this stage.
Mm-hmm. There's even a strat to do that fire as well too, but like it's not. I don't know. It's really cool to use Tornado there. It really is. And overall, Tornado is like a good amount faster using fire anyways in World 4, because also it allows us to do a faster like wall D routes, which we'll see in this next level.
That's right.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I do remember, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like this next level it's called a Metro on Ice. We're going through just a metro or like a subway, whatever you want to call it. I had subway earlier. But yeah. That's what we're doing. There's a lot of platforms you can go on normally through here, but we're just gonna tornado over all of it, as it's just fast. The tricky part though is that about halfway through this room here, we're gonna go through an arena. Just gonna fight a bunch of enemies, and for that we have to get rid of tornado once again, just go powerless for a little bit. Won't be as bad as like powerless claw line though, thankfully, but it is a little bit tricky. Then get hidden wall D here from staying on 2 trains. There's the first one right there. Next one's right at the end. It's right after this fight here.
Now, Tornado is traditionally not very good at combat, so you're going to see that Shasta is immediately dropping Tornado and doing the rest of the fight copyless and just spitting enemies out at one another, but purposefully swallowing the hammer, and that's going to be extremely important for some of the later levels in World 4.
Yeah, you'll see soon enough. I'll make sure in particular it's in the mix wheel. Little hint for you there.
Yeah.
That's why I do that. I want to go a little out of the way to avoid the icicle there. Sounds a little bit tricky to get around.
And a lot more avoiding some of these pegs in the wall and some of the secrets that are in this level. Again, any percent is about routing in the fastest Waddle Dees possible, and so we're going to be avoiding a lot of what the stage has to offer. Including this next part. This next room is exactly what Shasta was talking about earlier. We're going to be doing kind of a cool skip to get 2 Waddle Dees that you're not normally supposed to get in such a way. But yeah, I'll just let it speak for itself, Shasta. You go ahead and show us what you're going to do.
Yeah, so we're going to go up here just barely on top of these stairs, and then go right up here just a little bit, right near his cone mouth, and then let's give us just enough height to get right over here with Tornado, and miss up just a little bit, but we go over here and get this... Waddle Dee. I'll be okay, don't worry. So don't worry about it, it's fine. There we go, we're good. We go right up here, and then go to here's the shipping container, which gives the hidden Waddle Dee, and that gives us 2 of them really quickly.
Yep.
I'm gonna do a little slide here to get around these icicles, and we're good.
Don't even
I
need
went
to
right
break
past
the
it.
boxes. Oh, I love that with Tornado, by the way. It's just like you're trying to come in full speed at the cage and you miss it and you just like do circles around it a bunch. It's awesome.
Just barely. It happens to me a lot in like the previous level and also in this one too. The other ones usually are fine though, for some reason. Yeah, next level especially is where Tornado is going to save us a lot of time.
Yes.
This first room, it has just a huge gap we gotta cross, and if we do that, as opposed to using any other power for it, we just save so much time.
Yeah, there's a lot of like zigzagging in the path, and if you had any other power up, you wouldn't be able to really gain the distance to be able to cross these gaps. But with Tornado, it kind of trivializes the whole thing. You're about to see exactly what we mean in just a second.
Right here. See, there's always different routes that gotta go on all the way here, but if we just use Tornado, we can just do this. Takes us right to where the pipe mouse section is, which we're not going to use, but it's very good. And then there's the cave here, which is pretty tricky with Tornado because just go a little past it, and then as soon as it runs out, we hold up, and I messed it up. We gotta try that again. All good. It's all good. But you don't normally supposed to do this part with fire, but we don't use fire anymore here, so I just don't do that. There we go. Second try. It's all good. Let's go in and out real quickly, and it gives us the wall D. Pretty fast one typically. It's one of those ones that's brutal to fail, especially using Tornado, but it is what it is. Now, weirdly enough, we actually found a clip through the cage here to get this ring mouth, but unfortunately for us, if we clip through the cage, they're called wolves. They don't spawn here, which actually makes it so none of the food that's in this section spawns in, weirdly enough. So that's a very, very weird thing that happens. And in the end right now, this is actually a fast wall to get, so we're actually going to get this with the Tornado routes. Just right here, and then go back. Oops. Oh, actually would land there. What is that snowball? Where'd that come from?
That was wild. It was like a homing snowball. I've never seen that before.
Neither have I. That was strange. But yeah, that runs pretty fast, even with the food there, as you can see. Just do like an extra like 2 tornadoes. That's really about it.
This room is one of the most fascinating ones in the whole run, in my opinion. There's like so many little weird quirks, like speedrunner tips that exist in this particular room with like the wind tunnel that's going on. First of all, there's a secret tunnel off to the left that you're going to see Shasta dip into, but like not fully though. Like there's like a sub area involved there where you can like go in the hole, and like there's another hidden Waddle Dee by clearing that area. But you get a hidden Waddle Dee for finding the passageway, but you don't even need to go in it, which is really strange. So we
really
utilize that.
Okay, we have a very important chat message. With regard to the snowball, would you say that has never happened before?
I would. Weirdly enough.
Increase the counter! Increase the counter! Come on! Put another one up!
The hypothetical counter.
All right, Shasta, my favorite level is coming up right here.
Mm-hmm.
So
you want to explain everything real quick while I do it?
I would absolutely love to. So this here upcoming is the Battle of Blizzard Bridge, and even before we decided to break it as speedrunners, it was probably my favorite level, but it is even more so now. The idea of Blizzard Bridge is that you're going to do a gauntlet against all of the bosses, or all of the mini bosses, I should say, that you've encountered up to this point. So you have to face off against all 4 of them. But if you remember, Shasta grabbed the hammer ability earlier to include in his mix for this particular purpose right here. So he's going to knock the 2 enemies into each other and specifically mix for hammer.
There we go. Nice.
There it is. Now, gonna move Tornado a little bit closer just for the sake of convenience. But hammer has a little bit of an interesting quality. If you float in the air and wait for Kirby to get tired and smack the ground with your hammer, you can then shoot up into the air like this, and by doing that, you gain a whole bunch of height. For some reason, you're able to suck up Tornado from up there, and then cross the gap so that you're up. And by the way, there is a top part of the stage. I don't know if you guys knew that. And just kind of go over all of the boss arenas this way. This this level just like it blows my mind every time. I know how to do it, and I've seen it a million times, but it always brings a smile to my face all the same because like yeah, you just trivialize the whole level. No secret Waddle Dees. It's the only level in the whole run I think that we don't get a single secret Waddle Dee.
I think so,
and
yeah.
We just kind of go over the top of it because of broken game mechanics just all over the place.
That whole skip right there is just an amalgamation of a bunch of different things. The HSJ hammer super jump that I did there, where I went really high in the air with hammer, plus the fact they can suck up powers from really high up as long as they're in the air, like I did with Tornado, and then using that and the height you gave from HSJ to go across the entire level, just in the top part of it, which is normally an Easter egg to get in the first place, where it's like 2 bosses instead of 1 that you find that level, except they're despawned because it's not there. It's like, it's just a bunch of different things happening at once. It's so cool.
Just such a good level.
In the end, it saves us like 2 minutes for finding the bosses normally as well, too. It's super nice. It's just such a cool level.
Yeah, and both of those things that we utilize to make that work, which is the HSJ, the hammer super jump, you're going to see those later, as well as the acquiring tornado while like a million feet up in the air. Basically, this game, for some reason, doesn't really put a cap on verticality. As long as you are above an ability power-up bubble, you can suck it up no matter how far below you it is. That's another thing that we're going to utilize later on in the run, too, maybe to a lesser degree. But the combination of those two things lets us do what you just saw, and yeah, I mean, it blows my mind every time.
Now we're gonna actually use fire real quick though. Go back to it because it's good overall for World 5. There's a strat now to not use fire for World 5 and use tornado instead, and do this fight powerless. But I haven't learned it yet, and it's something I gotta really route out and like make sure I know. So yeah, for now we're using fire here, and it's still very, very good. If all goes correctly, we kill DD before he jumps up like that. That was close enough. It was very, very good. And now here's the second phase of the fight right here. It's got this big pillar going on, but if we just go around real quickly and just go right up to him and just light him on fire, and then Cindy over here is going to attack again, and then step out of the way like that. And if everything goes correctly, we should kill him very fast, and get a little funny face happening here. Check this out. So good. It freeze frames on the perfect face. It really does. That's the fight right there. Very
Easy
fast.
fight. Elflin getting mad at us for the blueprints again. Elflin, you're kind of driving me nuts. I swear, if you just one more time gonna get mad at us for the blueprints, I swear I'm gonna get you kidnapped.
I will get you hecking kidnapped. I'll be an accomplice.
But they're so small.
Oh no, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. No,
They're so small.
I'm not associated.
King DD beat us to it. What can I say?
So plot-wise, Elfling is kidnapped right there, and like it's because DD actually is currently mind-controlled by something else in the game. We'll see way later in the game. But that's the idea of what happens right there. He's not actually like King DD's like normal doing. He's actually he's been kind of an anti-hero for a while in the series, but especially in this game as well too. It doesn't really change. So that's what's happened right there. And now we're into a very epically named level, the Waste for Life Beacon in World 5. This is kind of like a more deserty area of the game in general. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of really hard levels here to optimize because it's all just like about how fast you move and like not making mistakes. This one's no exception to that rule as well too, but it's really cool if done correctly.
Yeah, having to snipe that lost squishy off to the side, using the volcano fireballs as well is a lot harder than it looks. Basically, if you want to do the fireball attack while you're in the air, you have to hold neutral on your stick, which means you have to get the angle right for your shots before you actually start doing the fireballs, because you can't hold a direction or else you'll just get these fire dashes. So even though that looks pretty trivial, it's a lot harder than it looks.
The right here, this one seems a little slow, but overall it's pretty fast it gets. You use Ring D, destroy his pillar, fill up all that sand over there, and then get a Cage Wall D right here. The thing about World 5 is there's a lot of really slow Wall Ds in it, unfortunately. So even stuff like this, it takes like a few seconds, it's overall fast to do because there's not really a whole lot of other fast options currently.
That's right. And also a reminder that as we're progressing through the game, the amount of Waddle Dees that we need to progress through the game is getting larger and larger. So the pool that we can take from for just like simple out of the way ones that we were getting before is starting to get smaller as well.
That's another rainbow right there. That was a really solid level.
Yeah, that was really good.
Can I hop in here for 1 sec?
Do the thing.
Absolutely.
We do not currently have any pending donations. However, I will remind us that in order to get the Hell Room Showcase, we still need $84 towards that incentive, and then we also have bonus game 3 Zelda 2, which needs another 420. And yeah, we're not that far off, and there's only 50 minutes left in this run, so time is of the essence.
Mm-hmm. Get it, everybody. If everything goes correctly, then this run could also end in like 40 minutes, so get them in. We need all the money we can right now for both the bonus game and for incentive right at the end of this run. Again,
and with the number of people, that we have in chat, if everybody donated like $3, that would be enough to get it all, and then some. We would smash all the goals.
The goal for time marathon is 15K, so let's try and get that, everybody. Let's do it. For now, though, I sleep.
Yeah, let's have a nap by the pool.
Yeah, just So this is actually a fast wall to get because by the pool here, there's that one that's a secret wall D, but taking a nap by the pool, and there's also just a cage D right here. It's in the middle of the open. So there we go. That's how it works out sometimes. And overall, it seems like a little bit of a slow detour, but once again, not a whole lot of fast wall Ds in World 5. That's actually turns out to be pretty good.
That's right. Anytime that you can kind of combine them together, anytime that you can collect 2 Waddle Dees in the same place, that's pretty good for World 5.
Also, funny little thing that's exclusive to this game is optimal sleeping. So when it went to sleep right there, I actually rotated the stick in order to wake up faster. Weirdly enough. So there's optimal sleeping in this game. Take that information and use it to your advantage, I guess. I don't know. Optimal sleeping in speedrun, just a funny little thing.
I think we could all learn a thing from optimal sleeping, Kirby.
True. Very true. This room, as well too, has a little bit of a skip in it, but only because the 2 Waddles you're gonna get in this room turns out to be like, it's the slowest to get in the entire level. It takes about 40 seconds to do the whole process compared to just beating a level normally. But like, it turns out overall, this is just like faster because of the amount of like slow LDs in this world.
Yep, and again,
we're gonna
that 2 for 1
over
rule.
here. Just hit the switch and avoid using drill entirely by just doing that little bit of movement. And just now we just hop down here and get water, and we got to destroy his 2 poison crocums, which is a great name. Too good. So we got one right there. We don't have to hop down for, thankfully. And there's one right over here at the end of the room. Take 4 hits and then it's done, and then gives us a cage wall D and a hidden wall D at the same time. So overall, very fast, but it's still a slow like wall D comparatively to like other worlds. But in this world, it turns out to be a fast one, so be like that.
Kind of how it works out for World 5, yeah.
Like some of the ones that you couldn't replace that with are like 30 seconds. It takes like 30 seconds to hit the cage wall D. So like a hidden one plus that little like out of the way detour, it takes like 40 seconds. That's pretty good. All things considered.
JD Puppy donates $5 and says, "Let's start a $5 dono train to get those incentives met. Let's go, choo choo." I agree.
Oh.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Let's get it. Got about 45 minutes max before we reach the end of the run, and I want to see that HAL room showcase.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Jen the Bug gives $3. Says, "Giving what I can for more Pronzo."
Oh. There we go. So we're actually back in Live Mall right here. I guess a different location of it, out in the deserts. And we're going through what they call the staff side of it, which is just like a different area of the mall, really. But the important thing here is we have one hidden wall D objective to get, and it's a fun one. So we actually have to get these 3 ice creams throughout the entire mall. So chat, I have a question for you. What's your favorite type of ice cream? Feel free to send to us in a donation comment, by the way. Tell us about your favorite ice cream. My favorite, personally, is chocolate cookie dough. Just so good. Love little cookie dough bits. Amazing. What's your favorite, Dangers?
This is a bit of an uncommon one, but Tiger ice cream is my favorite.
What's that?
Tiger ice cream is orange ice cream with like black licorice swirled through it.
That's interesting. I get that.
Very interesting, but yeah, definitely one of my favorites.
What about you, Otter? What's your favorite one?
I like mint chocolate chip, which apparently makes me an old man, but it's my favorite.
It's good. I like that one too a lot.
You can't go wrong. Hey, there's a mint chocolate chip right there.
Yeah, there we go. Even the game agrees.
Hey yo.
I got one more right over here. And then I'm actually skip this cycle by being a gamer like that. I actually could have not done that because the cycle should turn to be perfect for me, but you know what? Fast. Sometimes you gotta go slow to go fast. Still very good though.
Yeah, nice and clean.
These have been good answers in the chat. A lot of vanilla, and you know what? Vanilla is a classic. I love vanilla.
A good vanilla ice cream, you can't go wrong with that.
You really can't. Cookies and cream as well too. Very, very good. Rocky Road. Not a chocolate ice cream person myself, but I respect it. Very good.
We have another $5 donation from Rune Cleric. Says, "Choo choo choo,
choo choo." Let's get that Halloween showcase, man, everybody. There's 3 of them I get to show off in there too. There's 3 hell rooms in the game. The little so they picture a little bit. They're little Easter egg rooms that are like hidden throughout. Like really the entire series. The first one dates back to Kirby's Adventure. Funnily enough, it's actually not a Nightmare Dreamland, weird enough as well too. But like they're just little Easter eggs throughout the entire series. It's really cool. So just 3 of them in this game. I want to show them off. They're pretty neat to see. Get your donations in, everybody. But for now, though, we're in 5-4. One of my favorite levels in the game, actually. We're gonna skip the light bulb once again by just like using getting the one use of it right here, and then just moving on.
Same thing as in 3-4. We're using it to open the pathway and then immediately rejecting it. We obviously know where the pathways are in this level. We've done it a million times, so we can just use fire and kind of dash through the level, no problem.
Oh, a little Harry right at the end, but we're good. We're getting light bulb back once again here, though, because it spawns at a platform. We could skip the platform, but this gives us a wall of D, and that's good. And also there's a poster right there, too, so it's basically begging for your buck right there.
The train continues. The train continues. Title donates $10. Says tweet. I mean choo. Contribution from the Burb Gang. Oh, that has layers. I like that. And I have also donated $5.
Let's go. Thanks, Otter.
Let's keep it going.
And right here, actually one of the best songs in the game. I love when like game devs do this, where they put like a really freaking good song for no reason in the middle of a random level. This is one of those examples. Moonlight Canyon, by the way, if you want to look it up on YouTube. Very good song. You hear like the entire loop of it too because of the next room, which is actually an Archmouth section, aka an auto-scrollers. So yeah, very good. And that room all we did was we got the poster and also a cage wall D. So we're going wall Ds for a bit until the end of this section here. So if you want anything else right now, I think now's a good time.
I love the music in this part, by the way.
It's so good. It really is. Also, be doing little optimizations in this area too. You actually could save time a bit with Archmouth by bouncing to the ground and then immediately spinning. It saves just a little bit of time, but for a section that otherwise can't be sped up, like it adds up a little bit. I've also had before where I accidentally hit one of the bones sitting on the ground, and then I just like lose 10 seconds because it spawned me a little further back. It's a little strange, but hopefully it doesn't happen here when I do it in a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, if you got more donations or anything else to read off, right now is the perfect time.
It appears that we might have to wait for Otter Sparks to come back in. I think we might have lost him.
Ah, heck. That's fine. We're getting a little cage wall D right here. And then right at the end, we're actually getting 9 wall Ds in this level, just because that's how it works out. A lot of really fast ones in 5-4. The last one we're going to do is go right next to these 3 cacti. And if you just do that, it spawns in a chest, which we're not going to get, but doing that gives us a hidden wall D right here. And funnily enough, I actually missed this casually, and then I saw the objective. Like my first time playing this, I saw the objective being like, find a treasure hidden by the cactus triplets. Then they looked behind me, I was like, that's a cactus. Oh gosh, there's 3 of them. Right in that screen.
There they are.
Oh no, I missed it. We found them. I gotta go back to the whole level now.
We got 4 more donations from Alpharon, $10, no comment. Thank you very much for the $10 donation. We have Dusk Bloom with $9, chugga. We have Dangers with $10, Bird Gang tweet. Hey, that is you. Thank you for the $10 donation.
Bird Gang.
And we have NPC donating $24. Let's get the last of the money for the showcase.
Let's go.
And does that? Oh, we are only $6 off from the showcase.
Right,
$6. We are $6 off from the showcase.
Let's do it by the end of this boss fight right here, which has actually come a longer level before the fight. Weirdly enough, it'd be like that sometimes though. But this next boss fight is just so silly. You can see him. He's just such a silly dude. Just a silly Dillo, if you will. That's his name. He's very good. So I'm using fire for his fights because it's really good if you just don't lose your firepower. First phase right here. He's just so silly. Look at him.
He's just a silly little guy.
A silly little guy. There we go. Just gotta make sure to just keep putting my fire on him. No problem like that. And then second phase, to go over here and start spinning up and going after me. I'm actually going to dodge roll out of the way as soon as it starts like coming towards me. But I want to get as much damage as I can in the meantime. He's going to do 3 of them, and then I dodge roll back here to get out of the way, and then finish him up right here. And that should be pretty fast. There we go. And third phase is the hard one. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of like movement manip to make sure he actually, because this part he brings out his a friend right here. And I'm actually going to go right here so it goes back and forth in a straight line, just to make sure I'm able to hit him like while he's doing this. Because a fun effect of volcano fire is that the more you hit anything with fire, the more they kind of light up for a while, and it does more damage over time because of that. So if I lose fire, I lose that fire effect too. And when you spin around, I can't really hurt him easily. So that fire effect is very, very nice to have, to say the least.
Yeah,
because right there he's dead.
Over time.
Now it's a solid fight. That went very well.
Nicely done.
I love
A lot of stuff
the
happened in that fight, that's for sure.
I love the cockeyed eyes.
The googly eyes are too good. I don't know why he's like that, but it's great. I appreciate it.
He's just a silly little guy.
He's a silly little dude.
Bedwa Blackburn donates $75 saying Awooga.
Awooga!
Awooga.
And with that, we have met the donation incentive for the Hal Room Showcase, and we are that much closer to bonus game 3.
Let's go.
Oh, I gotta say it like in Turning Red. Awooga! Good movie, by the way. You got one last little wall detailing mission here before the end of the game. It's going to introduce us to the third gotcha machine. Oh my gosh. These things, by the way, if you give them money, it gives you a figurine. Sometimes they'll give you repeats. Sometimes it won't. Depends how it goes, I guess.
And the game found it very necessary to let us know that there was another machine in the corner for you to gamble your life away, if you so choose.
Please give us money. That's what it's saying. But World 6, though, is really cool. I love his first level especially. But all just a bunch of different, just like movement and everything. And a few different Waldies we get along the way. Like this one here, we got to take out these 2 Wild Woofies. First one being up here in this lookout, second one being a bit further away.
Now,
that turns to be a pretty fast one.
World 6 encompasses about a third of the entire speed run. It's the longest world, it has the most levels, and it also kind of just requires the most Waddle Dees, and for that reason, it's going to be the longest one. It also, you know, spoiler alert, has the final boss and stuff in it, so that kind of plays into why it's so long. But it also is a very make-or-break world. There's a lot of things that happen in this world that are like, okay, if I don't get this, then it kind of is game over for me.
Mm-hmm. Especially right in the last level. The very last wall you get is like it's very scary, because if you mess up getting it in the first place, then like there's no way to back it up. You gotta do another level again.
That's right.
Yeah, for now though, we're just gonna go fire past literally everything right here. Just like this. It's going to be scary, but thankfully I know what I'm doing. If we do 2 fire dashes and float upwards, we get a good amount of float as well too. Enough to do another fire dash without losing like a whole lot of height, which is nice. You take advantage of that in that room, and then little cutscene here for his meteors. This is part of like another Wall D we could get, is destroying all the meteors in this room. That's why the game like kind of slows down there to tell us that. But we're not doing that one. It's a slow one. We gotta get Bar Bloom out for that one, and we don't want that. It's fire good. But that was overall pretty solid. A few bonks at the end there, but still very good.
Not too bad. Paving the way.
I'll forget to mention, but like there's that second room where there's a cycle left to make, and I kind of just nailed the heck out of that without even mentioning it.
Yeah, the bone along the wall is new to me. I didn't know that you could do that. That was really nice.
Yeah, the old strat is a lot harder, I feel, because you have to be really precise. It's like a little tired of the timing, but the bone on the wall makes it very easy. And it's also a little faster because it's closer to where we want to go.
That's true.
But right here, though, 6-2, the very first room is one of the hardest rooms in the whole run, I'd say.
Yes.
So I'll let you explain what I'm going through here.
This is a make it or break it level. So this is kind of just a tower. You got to climb the tower and avoid all the obstacles, which in itself is pretty difficult to do. But when we get to the top of the tower, we're going to encounter Wild Frosty again. We get a Waddle Dee for defeating it with Crash. Luckily, the game does give us Crash right before, but we also want to juggle fire so that we get fire back in time
Snacker,
for the rest of the level.
No, yo!
Whoa, that
Let's
was
go.
sick. That was like some Matrix level stuff right there.
Yeah, that was sick.
So Shasta's going to drop fire.
Barely. Let's
Just
go.
in
Okay.
time, grab Crash and climb up the ladder with Crash. And then use Crash to defeat Frosty to get that secret Waddle Dee. And remember before when we were talking about the verticality of those bubbles and how you can suck up power-ups from above? It's exactly what Shasta's going to do here again. He was above fire and was able to steal fire back, essentially, from all the way down on the ground. And that helps out a lot, because if we didn't have that, it would be a lot harder to get fire back. We might not, like, the timing for that bubble to disappear is pretty tight. So
That was that was scary, and I'm glad that room went well in the end because of that.
I loved that. It was like some Matrix stuff, like avoiding that snake's jaws. That was very good.
That was wild. That was awesome. Yeah, so that enemy there is called Snacker with 3 S's right at the start of the name. It's it's one of the most frustrating enemies in the entire level because our entire run, because he has a very large grab box whenever he tries like just fling at you. So getting out of the way of that thing as soon as it starts attacking is very scary, and I don't know how I did that because he was already in the middle of the lunge as soon as I got my power back, but that was sick. That being said, the 2 rooms after that first room, not much to really say here. But we do actually skip the ring mouth. We could get at the beginning of this room and just get it right now instead. Because it spawns right on top of the boat at the very bottom here.
Yeah, you probably noticed it in the light bulb levels as well. The game really tries to push those mouthful modes on you, and it also it built in those fail safes. So if there's ever an opportunity where the game can be like, hey, you missed the thing back there, it'll just give you another one so that you obviously aren't soft locked into certain situations. So we didn't need to get the ring mouth earlier in the level.
Well, I get the crash on Wild Frosty as well too, because like my latest run I did, actually I failed that one. So glad I get to redeem myself just a little bit there. Sweating.
Yeah. And such a swaggy strat as well, just like the juggling of the fire, making sure the fire bubble doesn't land in the lava, lands on one of those like crumble blocks instead, and then grabbing Crash just in time before it blows up on you.
Like, we're still talking about it, and it's been like 2 minutes. That's how cool of a strat it is.
Exactly.
It's sick. So I got the power plant level, which is... It's kind of music kind of reminiscent of the Kirby 64 factory level, I'd say.
Yeah, I love that level too.
Same. It's so cool. But this level is also very, very cool. Got a lot of neat strats to it. The main thing about it is we got not get crushed, which I learned is any crusher, including this first one here, so don't get crushed here either. If we do that, it gives us a hidden Waddle Dee, which is fast, so want to do that. Then I'm actually going to get these coffees as well. There's 3 of them in the level. I actually missed the thing there. I'm just going to hit it with my butt, because why not? There we go. And we start this whole process here by doing that, and it gives us a Waddle Dee. And also, it gives us a hidden Waddle Dee, because we go over here into this vents, and gives us this control room over here, which gives us a Waddle Dee. Unfortunately, I was a little slow here because of the bonk, so we're actually gonna slow load in the end through that doorway, but it's okay. It happens. Another coffee right over here. Wake up, everybody, it's all good.
We've got to be very careful not to get crushed in this next section here.
Thankfully, I made the cycle just in time. I was a little afraid I missed that, but we're good. And then we got a few rooms in a row, just like this, where I gotta go to the side back and forth, and not hopefully miss everything.
The classic platforming game trope of you're in like a narrow hallway and there's a wall coming to crush you quite slowly, and you got to just make your way through it. Of course, Shasta makes it look easy. And then this final room, you're actually going to be going for this cone mouth ability and taking it through. You might think that, we're playing a little game of like guess the shapes right now. You might think that, oh, you can just jump through that hole as regular Kirby and maybe continue the level onwards with like that, but it actually progresses the level a lot faster. You saw everything like immediately scroll forwards. So even though this is a caged Waddle Dee, it's actually faster to get this one because it progresses the level if you pick the shape correctly.
There's a few fast volleys again in World 6 like this that are like about the same speed, and that's definitely one of them. I feel like that one has the potential to be faster because it gets rid of the invisible wall in front of us.
That's right.
There's also a fast dragon do there with either tornado or fire to kind of skip the whole section where all the walls are coming towards you, and then like get the cone right at the end of it. There's that too, but I haven't practiced that, so they're kind of like a slower version of it essentially.
Now, at the very beginning of the run, we talked about unlocking the shop with a certain amount of Waddle Dees. That is finally coming into effect here. We're going to be going back to back to town. We have the amount of Waddle Dees that we need to unlock the upgrade shop. So we're going to take a little shopping trip. And, you know, it's funny. When we first started speedrunning this game, when this game was brand new, a couple people would ask the question, like, hey, you know how you can get, like, speed boosts and stuff? Like, would you ever use that in the speedrun? And we're like, nah, there's no way. Like, look at the shop. You have to unlock it after a certain amount of Waddle Dees. It's, like, all the way up there. You got to go all the way out of your way to, like, go to the upgrade shop. Turns out a couple runners gave it a try. I think it was Polka that did it first, right?
It was Blue Pen.
Oh, Blue Pen did it first. Okay, yeah. Japanese runner Blue Pen, awesome at the game. It's a shame that they're not running anymore, but they gave this a shot. They were like, you know what? Let's buy some speed upgrades. Let's buy some attack upgrades and see how it goes. And even though it takes us about 2 minutes to go and detour out of the way to do this, it makes up for it in the amount of speed that we get and the amount of power that we get over the final bosses.
Mostly in the power. That's where we especially save a lot of time. Like the attack upgrade does so much damage compared to just like anything else we need to use in the game. Other than like a few of the really upgraded powers, but it's really, really nice. So I do optimal shopping here because I can't buffer the X input to use the attack boost or the speed buff at all. So like as soon as I'm able to, I actually am able to just like press X and use it immediately, which also speeds us up in the Wall of D-Town if you use the speed up here. Weirdly enough, so we save a little bit of time backtracking to the start after doing that too. But for now, you notice that I'm actually keeping one of the attack boosts, and that's because I'm gonna use that for the final few bosses of the game. So we're actually gonna save it for that one. But for now, we're in 6-4, which has a boss rush to it.
Yeah,
so I want to get as fast as we can.
6-4 is a little bit like 4-4, but buffed up. The idea is that we are doing another boss gauntlet level. We're going to be fighting a boss and then kind of doing some platforming to get to another boss. But these are all of the main bosses in the game rather than the mini bosses, so we're going to fight off against Gorimondo right away here.
All right, we've got a couple more donations from Jacrissy for $50. Says good luck, Pronzo, and thanks for donating to a good cause. Fastest first. And also, Blaze donates $25, saying donating in support of a fellow pizza wolf. Incidentally, we are also only $373 off from our $2,500 goal for bonus game 3, and we are not that far off from our $15,000 overall goal either.
Let's go. Get in, everybody. Get some donations in. Now, I actually had bad luck on Gorimondo a second ago. It's luck whether or not you get hit there and you lose your power. Unfortunately, I got hit there and lost my power, so I feel that sometimes. Because of that, like I mentioned earlier, fire, you actually lose out on the burning effect too. So you don't get that, but it's okay.
Luckily, we do have Volcano Fire, and we do have the attack boost, so you do kind of just melt through Gorimondo either way, but, you know, a couple of seconds lost for losing your fire ability.
And right up here, we got another silly little guy. We're gonna fight Silodilla once again. Just right here.
He is. What a silly guy.
Gonna make sure that I stand a little bit away. Weirdly enough, only his friend has the hitbox, not actually Silodillo himself. So if you actually go right next to Silodillo, you won't get hit at the very start of the fight. Just for a few swings around, but yeah, still very tricky. And actually, because I got the cone mouth one, there's a chest to the right of Silodillo that I could get. Because of that cone mouth, I'm actually gonna not get that one because I don't need my route currently.
There you go.
Bam. Stuff like that factors into this run. That's one of the chests that's one of the Waldies that's like about the same speed as like a few other ones. Another example of that is the one 6-2 where I went down the scaffolding.
Yeah.
That one's also pretty fast. And it's about as fast as like that one. Or like this one here, for instance, the pipe mouth one right at the end of the section.
Yeah.
This one's like pretty fast too.
The routing in any percent requires you to kind of pick and choose which Waddle Dees you want to get. If you were to do a category like all Waddle Dees, you wouldn't be given a choice. You kind of just have to get them all. But with any percent, you know, it's the fun of figuring out what the fastest thing to do is figuring out the routing. And that plays a pretty significant role in which Waddle Dees you get. Just so happens that in World 6 you have like 4 or 5 Waddle Dees that are all about the same speed approximately, and you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to do based on your preferences.
Meanwhile, there's also this one right here. We have to do a boss fight damage list, which we end up doing there pretty handily with just what we do with our strategy. So like I was able to suck up all those knives there and use that to my advantage to get a big double star. Or I guess in that case it's like a quadruple star. I think it's where it maxes out.
Yeah.
And then it do a lot of damage, then clean line up of 2 more regular stars that just spawn in, so it works out well.
Very well done.
Another very fast Wall D. It's one of those ones that early on to this game, a lot of people were hesitant to go for because, well, it's hard to not get damage in that fight sometimes, and especially if the game's new. That's how it is, but yeah. Now we kind of just do it second nature in the run, no problem. But here is actually the first time we see Coaster Kirby in the run, weirdly enough, right at the end. You're supposed to see this one for the first time in 3-1, but it's unfortunately one of these slowest things to do in the entire game to get a Wall D, so we don't actually see that. One day it should be routed in, though.
I was going to say, I'm still petitioning to have that routed into any percent one of these days.
One day. But in the end, we do get a Wall D from doing this, and we have to, obviously, in order to advance the game, so it works out pretty well.
This Coaster Waddle Dee is also one of the ones that's kind of like on the fringe, like you could get it, you could not. I personally like to leave this one as a backup just in case anything goes wrong in World 6 along the way. But, that's kind of the beauty of it, is that because there are so many that are so closely timed, it doesn't really matter which ones you go for.
Absolutely. And then after this, normally there's 4 levels in each world, but in World 5 there's actually one more we gotta do. And it's a really cool one.
One of my favorites. One of my favorites in the entire game, especially with what we do to it.
Oh, yeah. Now I gotta make sure that I'm seeing the correct number of Wall Ds. In the bottom right, I should see 26, just to make sure. Because we did get 6s in the last level here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, I just want to make sure of that real quick. So like right at the start, it's got a little bit of movement, and then we're just gonna stay on this platform for a while, which I like to kind of do a little fun thing at that whenever I get here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get rid of fire, and then we're just gonna wait, just like that.
Just have a little rest.
Just sit down.
I mean, Kirby's been running around for what, an hour and a half? I think he deserves a break.
Yeah, say hi to Kirby, everybody. I haven't talked about it at all, but this game actually has taunts on the D-pad. There's 4 of them, like that one right there, like this one just looks around. It's very good. I just like to spam the taunts through that section.
This level is an absolute riot. It's one of my favorites. You're noticing that Shasta's grabbing the hammer immediately right at the beginning of this level, and that's because the hammer space jump that you saw in 4-4 is making a comeback here. We're going to be using it all the way through this level.
It's really cool, too. This first one doesn't save as much time as you'd think it would, but does skip a really huge room. And that's the important part. It's like right here. I'm going to start doing it right here, and if I get the perfect height on this HSJ, should... I think I got it, actually. I just need to hold up right here, and I'm good.
Yeah, give it a shot. It looked all right.
Looked pretty good, Normally we're supposed to go through that door right there, but by doing that, we just skip over the entirety of it and save, like, over a minute.
Something
like that. Very good start to this. We do one more here in a second, too. That's the harder of the 2, but glad I nailed that first one. Always feels good to get that one.
So this room is set up that you're supposed to go into these little entryways and complete a gauntlet or some sort of challenge, usually involving a mouthful mode. But instead, we just jumped over the first one, and the game lets us do that, which is really nice. The second one is a little bit harder. There is a setup to do it, but it's like extremely inconvenient. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to come into this room, and we're going to just do the HSJ from here.
Oh, first try?
That looked great.
Yo, okay.
Yes, nicely
done.
Yeah,
let's go. Okay.
So by getting a maximum height HSJ, you can actually just kind of go into the room and then leave and trick the game into thinking you've done the entire challenge of the room, and that saves a huge amount of time.
Damn, I got the mix right there too. Perfect.
Very good mix as well.
That was textbook right there, just all of that. Very, very nice. And bam! There we go. That's all the hard stuff in the level done. At least in my opinion.
Now,
we do the large mouse section.
knock on wood, we do have this basically an auto-scroller section while we do the Archmouth, so we do have a little bit of time for donations, but it is going to be a little bit scary at the end because that one Waddle Dee that Shasta was talking about earlier is going to come into effect here.
We do have 3 more donations from Druff for $50, saying, love what you all are doing. Keep up the great work. Also, happy birthday, Pronzo.
I had birthday Pronzo.
Happy birthday.
JD donates $5 and says, exclamation point steal. I shall accept the bully for my math mistake. And then Cheeseball81 donates $100. No comment, but thank you very, very much for the $100 donation.
Thank you, thank you. It's not his birthday? Well, happy birthday, Pronto.
Happy birthday anyway. Happy birthday anyway.
A classic wish the streamer a happy birthday, even though it is one of the 364 days of the year that it is not that.
Absolute classic right there.
So
Very nice right there.
One of the hidden Waddle Dees in this level is to not fall in the lava while using Cone Mouth. And this is 6-5. The boss of World 6 is the next level. So if Shasta messes this up and falls into the lava, it's kind of GG's. Like, there's no other option aside from having to do the level all over again.
That was perfect right there. I played that really well.
Yep, textbook stuff.
That was just a really good level in general. That went about as well as I would hope it goes every time. Because of that, I'm getting awarded with a nice little rainbow. Let's go.
Yeah.
In my PB, that was like the worst level. I literally lost like over half a minute there. But I just like, I'm almost back in PB pace now, so let's go.
That was a textbook 6-5. Like, you really can't ask for much more than that. You got first try on both the hammer space jumps.
Yeah, this is going very well all of a sudden. What do you know? If you do the tricks, you go fast. Who knew?
Write that down, chat.
Write that down, write that down.
Important.
Yeah, look at that. We have just enough Waldies and lot the boss. All 32 of them we need in this world, and we're good. Last time we see all the Waldies flailing their arms about. Now we got a little familiar face here in the silhouettes, if you will. On the way over here, do you have any donations to read real quick?
We do not. However, I am going to try my hand at doing some mental math one more time. I believe that we are $168 off from getting bonus game 3.
Let's do it.
I'm sure I will be corrected if that is incorrect. I believe we are $168, which is not that much. It is not that much. Yes, almost nice. Only $1 off.
The easiest way to correct Otter right now is to just donate money and be like,
it's true.
Actually, Mr.
I did indeed give you permission to bully me through your donation comments, so you know, that's a double incentive right there.
We're gonna grab ice here once again for Mass Deity, probably enough, or Corner Deity in this case. And we're just gonna freeze them right off the bat, doing the same technique we did earlier on Goromondo, where I'm using the shield and moving forward and pressing B rhythmically, so you're able to freeze them and unfreeze them over and over again. Which, once again, the unfreeze damage does a lot. And then here we go, got Banger Alert with the music. Very, very nice. And right here is actually when we use this attack mode finally as well. So hopefully this goes well. Bam. So far so good. Getting them frozen. Starting to slow down. Perfect. And just doing this once again. And then he's going to circle around me real quickly in a kind of a tight line. So we can just freeze him again. And he's done. Bam.
Very well done.
Perfect fight right there. And weirdly enough, this is the one boss fight that does not have a blueprint in front of him. I like all the world bosses in general in the run.
Yeah.
The one doesn't have a blueprint. Don't know why.
This one and World 1 before the blueprints are even introduced, I suppose.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
But yeah. And now World 6 is officially completed, and, you know, that basically launches us into the final portion of the game, which is
I'm going to let you
Discover.
explain this, by the way, because I need to concentrate for this part.
Absolutely, yeah. Full focus mode from Mr. Shasta here. So the final part of this game is called Lab Discoverer, and it requires you to complete 3 bosses in a row. The first one being Leongar, but you're going to see that Shasta's actually going for the hammer, and I don't know if you've been paying attention at this point, but that means only one thing when it comes to this speed run. So as soon as we activate this boss fight, the first thing that he's going to do is throw some minions at us. We're going to ignore them completely. As soon as this boss fight starts, Shasta's going to find one particular tile on the floor and set up for a hammer space jump.
Did I get that? I'm not sure. No, I didn't. That was a
No,
little
too
low. So this fight's now way harder because I didn't get that first try, by the way.
Yes,
so I'm
but
gonna go for the other's way to do this. I'm gonna go for pause buffer 2, and hopefully I can get this. I don't think that's it. I think it was a little off. Yeah, so this skip is the hardest skip in the run. It's a huge run killer right at the end as well too.
yes.
And also my route that I use for attack boosts or for the buffs also comes into play with me having to get this first try, ideally.
Yeah.
So
what makes this run so
yeah.
difficult at the current meta that it is at is the fact that this run
Oh?
requires that was good.
Hey, there we go.
Very nice. Okay, so
Nice.
this requires a maximum height hammer space jump, which is a frame perfect input basically. And what you need to do is you need to basically clear the invisible walls that surround the entire arena, and you also have to slip through a ceiling tile, which means that one of the tiles that you pick to slam on the ground has to be right below an empty ceiling tile.
And be careful here.
Yeah,
Please,
Leongar is on the level with you.
Nice, let's go.
There we go.
Okay, good. So Leon can clip underneath the ground there too. It's another thing, and he can make you lose your power randomly if it hits you. So
Yes.
it's also a scary thing about that trick as well. Thankfully, we're good though. Let's go.
So a little bit of an explanation of what just happened there. Usually what you're supposed to do is defeat Leongar. It sends you to an area where you like walk through a doorway and then this boss fight happens. But lucky for us, the loading zone actually exists in the same space as the boss fight is happening. So if we can get up and over the invisible wall and underneath the boss arena, we can just activate the loading zone and do this fight.
And by the way, if you're wondering what's happening right there, have you seen the movie Akira? that's all I gotta say.
This is Akira.
That's it. That's the tweet.
So essentially, to go into the lore explanation of what's happening there, so Elflin, our little friend that's we've been seeing throughout the entire game, who's been with us and got captured in World 4 and stuff. The reason he got captured is because they're actually one half of a really, really powerful being, psychic being that teleports everywhere, called Elflin. And here they are right now, fully formed. So we actually broke Elflin out of the cage after the Leon fights, or we would have then skipped the fights. And now they're whole once again, and they're very, very powerful, as you can see right here.
And they're very
This is the final
angry.
boss fight of the game. And they're angry, yeah. They're not happy with us.
So one of the most important reasons that Leongar skip needs to be done first try in order to be a world record contender for this run is because you can see the power boost in the top left corner is slowly ticking down. That's not going to be quite enough time to have maximum power against the most powerful being in this entire game. It's going to be enough to get close.
Good luck.
And you're going to see, yeah, good luck on the attacks here. So you're going to be able to finish off the first phase just all in one go like that. That's the beauty of Ice, is keeping the boss in place for as long as you possibly need them.
The unfortunate thing is now, like I just said, I don't have enough attack boost to actually get a really fast second phase. But we'll do as best as we can here. If I did get Leon skip first try, I'd be able to skip this healing phase that Elflin has just barely. But unfortunately, that's not gonna happen here. That's okay. I'll still try and get it though, but it won't do enough damage to kill him. But here we go. Try once again, block his attack, and immediately start doing the ice thing again. It's looking good so far.
Yeah,
Maybe,
You might
maybe.
be able to freeze him
Nice.
again. Nicely
Froze him
done.
again. Like I said, not enough damage here, unfortunately, because we're gonna have attack boost. So we're gonna see the healing phase, but he should be dead right after this phase. All things considered. Also, you can tell which one's the real one here because of the shadow on the ground. That's how you can tell. That's something I didn't know casually until I started writing the game itself. But there we go. That's Effect Elflin right there. And now I'm just going to rotate the stick as fast as I can. Everyone like Mario Party 1?
Yeah, tug of war time. Let's go.
There we go. That was really good.
And now it's not enough that we defeated the final boss. The final boss is angry that we've ripped the other half out of him. So they are retaliating by throwing the literal pop star planet at us from another dimension. So we have to do the only rational thing that we can think of to do, which is mouthful mode a nearby semi-truck and slam directly into them. So that's what we're going to do.
A little fun fact for you yeah, that sounds about right. A little fun fact for you, by the way, is that the final boss song is called, going through the Roche limit or whatever, or something like that. So the Roche limit, for those that don't know, and you should know this, but I do because I looked this up. Essentially, what that means is the speed at which two planets collide with each other through gravity. So right now, it's currently happening right here is that Popstar in another dimension, which Elfos is able to control and open up, is coming right towards us. And we have to defeat him in order for our home to just not get destroyed like that, and for us to get home as well too, because we gotta figure out a way home still. After all, that's the whole plot of the game. So yeah, fun stuff right there. Kirby, by the way.
This game is like very reminiscent of Odyssey for me. You know, like you feel like you've beaten the final boss, but just one more challenge. You got to do some sort of like escape sequence, very epic, very like world-ending escape sequence to save the day once and for all.
Then right at the end of this part is actually where time is going to be. I'll call it out because it's not immediately after you destroy him here, so I'll tell you when it is. But yeah, just letting you know, just giving you a little heads up on that one. Right here, I have to match as fast as I can, or pretty fast in general. There's actually like a matching limit, so I can't go as fast as I can, but gotta go still pretty fast to get through that part fast. And then we're powering up right here. We're literally sending a truck into this god that can distort dimensions and open them up. Like, this is how we end the game. It's so good.
This is a very Bayonetta conclusion.
It's a very Kirby conclusion, honestly. It's not the first time we've done this. Shout out to Planet Robot and also Triple Deluxe. And Star Allies, like all those games, really. Very good. All right, time is very soon. I'll call it out. I got to rotate the stick and also mash as fast as I can. It's a little tricky, but there we go. Time is as soon as the truck goes right through Elphalus. And time. Bam. Wait, we hit 14K during this run? Excuse me?
We did.
No.
It was during this
go.
extremely hype ending sequence, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Understandable. Let's read it out. Get them in real quick during the end parts. Let's go.
Yes. We got a $5 donation from Jackal who says, Poyo. We have a $50 donation from Anonymous that says, this is a public service announcement. A Kirby dance a day keeps the red splits away, or was it hugging a Waddle Dee, or maybe petting an Awoofi? Any of them should do.
All of them. All the above.
We also have a $13.69, nice, donation
Nice.
from Anonymous that says, actually, let's make a grand total a nice round 14K. And so 14K we have.
Nice. Let's go.
Very nice.
Thank you, everybody. What's happening here is that obviously Elflin is now apart from Elphalus, and they actually absorbed Elphalus in the first place now, and they're able to just close the dimension, but as a result of that, they're also gone. As far as we're aware, at least. R.I.P. Good, nice to know you, buddy.
Salute emotes in the chat.
Give us the best salutes. Give us an F in the chat as well, too. But we are back in Popstar. Are here as well with Waddle Dees and Bandana D as well, too. He's part of this. I only forgot about him from like 2 minutes into the game, but he's here too. Yeah, that's Kirby and Forgotten Land 8%. I have the incentive in a little bit, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna skip the credits to get to it real quick though, just get through them. But that being said though, there is a post game to this game where we actually do save Leon Gar here in the end, because it turns out he's actually kind of alright, and you learn that in the post game. But it's really cool. There is a run to do that post game called True Ending, which I like a lot personally. It's 2/3 of it is the 8% run with a few extra things throughout it. But then like the actual post game itself is really heckin' fast and really cool. I like it a lot. But for now though, I can go on about like all of the categories in the game for a while. We're gonna do the incentive, which actually I should have gotten this file. I'm foolish. Hold on, let's get out of here real quick.
1:44:13, by the way, is like exceptional for what I think is probably the first marathon showcase for Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
This is my second one actually. I did this for a few years ago for Speed Gaming as well for the No Kid Hungry marathon.
Right. Okay.
But even still, like this definitely beat the time I got for that marathon. Considering I just got a lot better, so
Yeah.
we take those.
The current world record is sitting around 1:40:50, I want to say, something like that.
Something like that.
So yeah, just about 3 minutes off of world record or something. Very clean
hello?
run.
There we go. Yeah, very nice. And also, like, I didn't get Leon skip first try, but I got pretty fast, so we definitely take those too.
Enough of an attack boost to get through the first phase of the Alphos fight. So
Mm-hmm. I love something we didn't even touch on is all the little details of the game. Like for instance, when you go into a world for the first time, like loading in from Wallaby Town, it has these little animations that play that kind of build up the world that you're going into. There's one for every single world, even Lab Discovery as well too. It's really nice. It's really really cool. That being said, we're going to look at the Hell Rooms, which are Easter egg rooms in the few levels in the game. So let's go there.
yeah, you want to explain what a Hal room even is?
Yeah, so essentially they're, well, like I said, little Easter egg rooms. The idea behind them is that Hal just likes hiding things in games sometimes. There's a few of them. You go in there and it actually spells out it's HAL, who are based off of Hal Laboratories, people who made this game in the first place. So that's nothing really more to it than that. There's some other like fun things about the rooms themselves that we'll see when we get there. But for now, I have to actually go to the very end of this level first, which muscle memory to do all the hidden objectives here, like the side alley, but I'll try and avoid doing that as much as I can to save as much time in this showcase. For now, though, while I'm getting there, if there's any other donations or anything to read off, let's do that real quick.
There are no new donations. However, we are only $99.31 off from Bonus Game 3. So we are very, very close.
Oh, we go really fast with the speed boost here. Oh my gosh. I've never seen this part with a speed boost. We're zooming. Oh my god, look at that. I already had to do this on its file because of something I was practicing like a while ago, I think. But yeah, so right at the end of the level here, you're gonna see this tree up in the corner. If you go up to it, there's actually a little bright spot right here. And doing so spawns in this ranger. And this is why I shouldn't want to do this during the run itself, because getting fire back here I think is impossible. And I need that for the other thing. But there's a target right up here above the other one that you normally hit to get a wall D in this level. So we're gonna hit that target real quick, which I missed. We're gonna hit that target real quick. There we go. And doing so spawns in all these different steps. And we're just gonna actually gonna float up it because it's nicer to do that. There we go. All the way up here. All the way on top of this huge building. There's just a load zone up here for whatever reason. And also, this is the only time you see this mechanic in the entire game. Where like you slide down a building. It's the only time where it happens. I don't know why. But here we go. Here's the HAL room. HAL right there. These rooms always have a few capitals in them too. But in my case, I want to do something fun real quick. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Let's see if I can. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Sorry, Woofy. There's a capsule right there. And oh wait. Actually, I missed one. There we go.
Hi.
I saw that on Twitter like a month ago, and it stuck with me. But yeah, this thing's a capsule right here too. No, there's not. There's a bunch of secrets in here. That's all it comes down to, really. Also, weirdly enough, there's Tornado here and also Hammer, which like if it's convenient to get in the run, we totally go to the HAL room in the run because of these powers, but we don't. So yeah, very good stuff right there. Very good stuff.
In the main game, you typically don't get Hammer or Tornado until you reach World 2, so that would be the first interaction that you have with either of those power-ups. It's just too far out of the way, unfortunately.
Yo, and thank you for the huge raid, Chester. Hell yeah, let's freaking go, everybody. Ours are the best. I got the radio, by the way. So, whatever like capsule we get is completely random. First come into Marathon, by the way. I just finished my Forgotten Land here, and we're doing the showcase after the run, the incentive of show off all the HAL rooms. That's one of them right there in 1-3. Next one is actually in 3-4. I could have actually gotten this during the run, weirdly enough. It doesn't really require me using a different power. But yeah. We're gonna get a different power anyways because that's called speed, baby. We're going fast. And then with the speed boosts that I have, oh, what the heck? What did I suck up there? That was weird. With the speed boost here as well too, I'm actually gonna probably make this cycle that I missed in the last run. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. I am jinxing myself by saying that, but no, I made that handily. Never mind. Oh, we're just gonna do that. This is the one that's like really hard to get, like right here. But thankfully, if the speed boost, it's like not bad at all. Bam, and we're good. I'm gonna go. Should I get tornado? I don't need a tornado. We're just gonna use fire for this. I don't need to worry about any of the objectives here, any of the wall of Ds or anything. We're just gonna go to the end, or go to where the thing is, which is right over here. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Right in here. So, funnily enough, there's this really short like Kirby section right here. But if we wait exactly 86 seconds before getting to the end of this section, it'll give us the Howl Room. So I'm gonna wait here for 86 seconds. So if you have any donations or anything to read off, this is a good time. Hi everybody.
Perfect. We have a lot actually.
Go
Travis donates $20. Says please put 1 towards Zelda 2 and 19 towards Attack 9. Good luck, Pronzo.
Heck yeah.
And we also have a $128 from Core Yggdrasil.
Yo.
Saying, let's see Zelda 2, and that does indeed meet the donation requirement. We have our third bonus game.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
Thank you everybody for donating for that. Donating for the very final run of the marathon, by the way, coming up pretty soon. So yeah, good stuff. Thank you everybody. You got a little more time, by the way, if you have anything else to read.
No immediate donations. However, thank you so much for being here, everybody, and supporting the Organization for Autism Research. Your donations are all greatly appreciated and are going to a fantastic cause. You're awesome.
Absolutely. So to explain why we're waiting 86 seconds in particular is because for whatever reason, or not for whatever reason, but HAL in Japanese sounds like the number for 86 apparently. So that's why. It's just a little Easter egg they've been putting in recent Kirby games. And there we go. Doing that gives us this big ol' Howl Room here. There it is. If only the end of the level wasn't so far away, I totally get the capsule and see what's in it, but yeah. All there is for this one's not as flashy as the first one. It's just a bunch of coins and also like one capsule. That's okay. We also get the satisfaction of I don't know, waiting.
And the music as well.
Oh, the music especially. Oh,
I do love the little fanfare you get for finding the Howl Rooms.
It is very nice. Yeah, that's something I forgot to mention, is that there's like a few different exclusive songs of the Howl Rooms. You're gonna see one of them. You're gonna hear one of them as well too in this next level, which in the last level here, which is 6-3. So for this one, we actually could have done this earlier too, funnily enough, as well, but decided not to in the end. But you'll see what I mean in a second. I did get like the wall D in this room, and then just kind of leave it immediately. But if it's something else here, I could have spawned the Howl Room essentially. Oh, and let's go. We're actually gonna go straight to the control room here is what we're doing. Spring Breeze, you need to calm down, thank you. So right in here, we go into this room and then immediately exit out. We're in the control room and now we're out of the control room. And then we're gonna go, instead of going to the door in front of us, we're gonna go back over here. Always begin the level here. Thankfully I have bonked there, otherwise I'm getting squished. Oops, my bad. I'm getting squished here anyways. Whoops. Alright, we're gonna just wait here, how about that? Bam, speed. Yo, fast. There we go. And if you go right back here into this load zone, which appears only if you go into the control room, by the way, it spawns in this ladder and this little walkway. I just kind of clipped into the side, excuse me? Okay. And up here is our very final Howl Room. This is my favorite one of the three, honestly. You go into this little vent, and everything just kind of lights up. But as you notice here, where's the Howl Room? No, where can it possibly be? Well, we're gonna throw all the boxes, and there's an H, There's the A right here. And here's the L right there. Let's get rid of all these real quick, just to make it more clear. But there we go. But the thing that makes this pretty great is once you destroy all the boxes here, it spawns in this vending machine mouth. So let's go around this way to demonstrate once again. HAL. And then get the vending machine mouth, which first time we see this in the game, by the way, because I didn't even use this in the run. We're gonna destroy all these boxes here, which you can only destroy with these soda cans. And funny enough, it starts us off at 860 soda cans. Reference once again to HAL, and doing all that gives us a bunch of capsules, a bunch of food, and just a grand old time. That's for sure. Yeah, let's actually. Oh no, that's right. I can't see what this is again. Never mind. It's just too far away from where I need to, from the end of the level. But that's okay. There we go. Weird enough, this room also has Crash in it, for whatever reason. Shout out to Crash. Ba-bam! Yeah, there we go. Going in through his door spawns us back into the control room right here. And that's it. And also another free capsule here too. And those are all 3 items in the game. That's all there is. Thank you all for watching this run in general. It was a pleasure to be running this game. I've been running this game since it came out about 2 months ago. It is such a fun speed game. Such a good run in general. So many fun categories too. And also, one of the best Kirby games in the entire series. Not even factoring in the speed run. It's just such a good video game. It really just they put a lot of love into it. It's so good.
Such a blast. I mean, I think that any Kirby fan could agree with the statement that like a full-fledged 3D Kirby game was long overdue, and they nailed it. They hit it out of the park with this one.
They really did. So if you want to see more Kirby speedruns, I've been running Kirby games for about 8 years now, actually, funnily enough. And a bunch of other stuff too. I like the GBA and the DS. I've run a lot of games on those too, like Metroid Fusion and other things like that.
Yeah, make sure you go follow Shasta.
Be sure to follow me if you want.
Mr. Shasta.
MR_Shasta on Twitch, MR_Shasta on Twitter. And I want to use this something. I might as well just say it. MR_Shasta on TikTok as well too. Bam. And if you want to follow my commentary, where people find you?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, me. You know, twitch.tv/dangers. I also run this game, but I also do lots of Mario stuff. So if that's what you're interested in, there be some Mario speedrunning over at twitch.tv/dangers.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me. Or having us, rather. Excuse me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.